Look at me. Yep, yep, yep. One, two, one, two, one, two. All right. Y'all can hear me. Yes, yes, yes. One, two. Check, 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 check.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. All right, cool. My bad. I was just sitting over here trying to get into my YouTube account, man, but I was logging into the wrong one. I had a not smart moment there for a second. What's up, good people? What's up, good people? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome back, welcome back. I trust that you all are having a good weekend. You all are having a good week. Yeah, I know how we like to start this thing. We like to start this thing off by talking about our wins. Wins for the week. I went to church today, man. Church was absolutely amazing. Went to church with the fam today. Had a basketball game. Won the basketball game, man. We had a great time today playing. I made sure this time I went in a lot more loose and just enjoyed actually playing the game instead of but here, that's yours. Instead of feeling a little tight, you know what I mean? So went into the game, just had fun with it, and we ended up winning, man. We actually ended up doing really, really well. I played really, really well. So that was dope. Let me see. What else? What else happened? What else happened? Um, I start my middle schools this week. So on Tuesday and Thursday, start the middle schools. I'll be back in the other juvenile detention centers on Fridays now. So now Backpack Jeff is going to be out Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then at some point we're gonna be back out on Sundays once the purchase order for that goes through, man. So we are super excited about that, man. So all good things there, all good things on that front. My daughter starts school in Maryland tomorrow, so we are super excited about that. Can't wait for that to pop off, man. That's going to be super dope. Let me see, let me see. Yeah. Hey, listen, no days off right now. We in grind mode right now. We in grind mode right now. Grind time, grind time, grind time, grind time. Anybody else? Any other wins that they would like to share? With the team, with the group? Somebody talk to me.
I actually started doing my workbook to go with my curriculum. I started sending out emails. So I've actually been on the grind, keeping up with the content. Once again,
Yes.
working on those curriculums, breaking them down day by day. Excuse the cheering. For some reason, when you get on social medias or anything, they feel like they're supposed to make noise. What are we doing? I'm gonna let y'all go. These kids about to play with me.
I understand. Excellent job. Congratulations. Happy to hear it. Anybody else? Any other wins that they would like to share with the team?
Well, I told you I've been looking into ordering some of the clothes off of the site that I'm using. So I was looking into that today, found, trying to, what can I say, budget how much I could sit there and spend each paycheck type thing to bring clothes over. And I don't want to go too much.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sit there and order like 100 things or something and then it don't sell. I'm not doing it.
Yep.
So I was looking into that. I have about 10 brand ambassadors right now. Might be more than that, but I'm gonna say 10. Um,
Wow.
it's good to have a lot of people, family and friends that have kids.
That's really good.
um, I was talking to my brother the other day, and um, he's really good with business ideas as well and everything. So me and him was talking, but one thing he was talking when he was talking to my granddaughter, he was talking about how he was reading that book, the book, same book that you keep talking about, As a Man Thinker, and everything like that. So he's reading it as well. So I was like, I asked him and found out I actually have that book on my um Audible, and I was
Yep.
looking through my Audible to see I have the book and I've already finished it. So now I have to go
Yeah.
back to sit
We
there
we did
and
we did that book maybe like a year or two ago, Nene.
yeah, that's because I'm like because I know I have another book just like the Atomic Habits. I actually have that book, and I was in the process of reading it when my subscription ran out, and I ain't paid back yet. So I'm paying it for it this weekend so I can finish reading it. But so I was like, okay. But I told because I asked him, I said, I was thinking about getting a book for my sons, and I said, do you think it will be beneficial for them? He said, most definitely. So I was like, okay, because I really, I I definitely value his input because he's very knowledgeable about a lot of things. But
Yeah.
definitely doing that. I was looking into like the good things like the ambassadors I have. The ones I don't have is like newborn babies, but I have ambassadors in like every size, like the toddler stage, the young child, the older kids. I just need to get uh, a newborn. I don't have that one yet.
Okay.
So, but other than that, I've been doing good. And just trying to focus on what I want my 2025 to look like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in preparation for 2025, we have to prepare now for the remainder of 2024. We got to make sure that we are preparing in 2024. We can't go into the new year being the same person that we were in 2024. It's not going to work. We're not going to get the results that we want. So if we want to get those new results, if we want to get better results, then we got to make sure that we're doing the work right now so that we can be the person we have to be in order to get those results. But yes, looking forward to hearing more, Nene. Proud of you, happy for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Any other wins that they would like to share? Talk to us.
I was able to. So this month, me and my sister are doing a challenge, and we're doing no anime, no TV, no shows for all the month of November. And so I've already seen a big difference in my productivity. And to replace that, we're just adding more reading, research, and then different things we need to work on. And so productivity has been up. My new website is almost done, and been working on some new merch. And then worked on a little bit more of my business budget as far as what profits look like daily, in order to meet my goal for each month, and then what that looks like with the products and services that I have, and the breakdown of how much I'll need to sell or offer per day with that. And so that's good because it gives me a good visualization of where I'm at realistically and what to work on. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. That's absolutely huge, man. Like making sure that you're planning and preparing, you know what I mean, for what you have to do is super, super important. Like it makes it much better. Like in reading this book, Atomic Habits, one of the things that they said was, you know, we as people, we don't lack motivation. What we really lack is clarity. And a lot of times what we see is we're really just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, laxed in the things that we know that we have, or unsure in the things that we know that we have to do. So we're not really sure, like, yo, where should I be going? You know what I mean? How should I do this? How should I do that? And that's one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest issues that we have. So taking some time out to actually sit back and, you know, go over those different things, man, is going to make a world of difference. I promise you on that.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, cool. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So, today what I want to talk to y'all about is I want to, I'm going to now follow up on pretty much what we listened to last week, right? So what we listened to last week was, the curriculums that we should be putting out for these different schools. What I want to talk about now is exactly how to write these curriculums. We got to get it's important to make sure that in the process of writing these curriculums, our curriculums have a couple of key things, right? And as we're talking about these things, there's a couple of key words that we should also be using when we are pitching these different curriculums, when we're talking about these different curriculums. And the reason being is because as we're having these different conversations, it makes us feel more knowledgeable and trustworthy when we're having these conversations, and we can actually use language that educators actually recognize. So if you want to use the language that educators recognize, one of the things that you can do is you can start, or you want to build trust, you want to build confidence, you can actually start using some of the language that these different schools and educators recognize. Look at the pinned comment. Hold on real quick. If you're on Instagram, look at the pinned comment. I want y'all to come over to the YouTube channel, and y'all will be able to get the audio from the YouTube channel. Please do me the biggest favor. Come over to the YouTube channel so that you can get the audio. The comment is pinned right here. Go to Backpack Jeff YouTube channel for the audio if you are on Instagram. But again, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about like these the process of actually writing the curriculum, and then we're going to kind of get into what my curriculum looks like and some of the different things, some of the different small intricacies of what my curriculum looks like. Right. So one of the biggest words in doing curriculum work is called a competency. All right. A competency is essentially a full subject of what it is that you're going to talk about. So again, we and I think we may have talked about this like briefly, but when you're talking about writing a curriculum, so if you're talking about social emotional learning, there are 5 competencies using the CASEL framework. Okay, CASEL framework, remember, is probably the biggest social emotional learning framework there is. So we're talking about CASEL learning, CASEL, okay? CASEL, not CASSEL or CASELE or CASLE or something like that. It is CASEL, okay? So when you're talking about, so let's say if I wanted to write my curriculum on poetry, the things that I'm going to teach in poetry are going to be called my competencies, okay? Those are going to be called my competencies. Now, if you take a look at, give me 1 second. Let me open this up real quick for you. All right. So y'all can see my screen now. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So if you go down and you look at this, so social emotional learning, great. Self-awareness, this is my competency here. Now, these 4 are my sub-competencies: emotional self-awareness, accurate self-perception, self-confidence, and optimism. These are the 4 sub-competencies that I'm going to teach in my competency. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Making sense so far? Right. So here are my again, competency up here, sub competency here. I got my self-management. I've got competency up here. I've got sub competencies down at the bottom: self-control, setting and achieving goals, adaptability, organizational skills, social awareness. That's my competency. Sub competencies: empathy, respect for others, appreciation of diversity, organizational awareness, so on and so forth. So with each thing that you're going to teach them, which is going to be your competency, you want to make sure that you have sub competencies to also highlight and outline basically how you're going to teach. Again, remember, we gave the example of people always say, oh, I'm going to talk about leadership. Well, what are you actually going to talk about in leadership that these students are going to learn? How to be a good leader, how to be a good follower, how to find people that you should follow. Like there are different things that you're going to want to make sure that you're covering in this in this curriculum. Okay. So the way that I broke down writing my curriculum is I broke it down in a couple of different ways. What's up, Vinaya? What's up, Naya? Yeah. So if you're on Instagram, the reason you can't hear, I need you to look at this down at the bottom. I need you to go to the YouTube channel. If you go to the YouTube channel, you will be able to get the full audio. I am muted on purpose. I'm muted on purpose. I need y'all to come over to the YouTube channel and you'll be able to get the full audio. But so the breakdown of the curriculum essentially looks like this, right? So I'm going to go. Go ahead and make this a little bigger. So in the beginning, we need to talk about our icebreakers. All right. In the beginning, in the beginning of pretty much every single thing, every time you're going into every time you're going into a school, anytime you're going to go teach, you're going to want to make sure that you have some sort of icebreaker. Okay. So let me ask y'all, an icebreaker is essentially something that is fun, something that's engaging, something that's interactive. Somebody give me an idea of something. Is there a show that y'all watch that's like fun, engaging, and interactive? Is there a show that y'all watch at all that's like fun, engaging, and interactive? Anybody think of one? Can anybody think of one? Anybody think of a show? Did I mute myself?
I can't think of any.
Can't think of one. Let me tell you, Wildin' Out is one of my favorite.
Well, I haven't watched that in a minute.
Wildin' Out is one of my favorite shows. You know why I love Wildin' Out? Because it's fun, it's engaging, it's interactive. So what I'm doing is I'm literally taking games from Wildin' Out and I'm going to turn them into icebreakers that I can use with the students that I'm going to be teaching on a regular basis. How many of y'all have seen the game called Got Props on Wildin' Out? If you've seen the game called Got Props, essentially you know that they take a prop like this, they give them a prop, and now this team has 1 minute to come up with as many unique and funny uses as they can with this particular prop. So they give them this, and now they got to turn it on like this a hot dog eating contest. And they go, you know what I'm saying? Like, what else can you turn this into other than what it actually is? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what else can we turn this into. This looks like it looks like a little telescope. Oh my gosh! Like, I can see Nick Cannon's rap career if I look really hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple of different things, like there's a couple of different props that you can actually use, you know what I'm saying, when you're doing it. So think about those different kinds of things, right? So I'm using thank y'all so much for tapping the screen over there. So I'm using the game Got Props as one of the icebreakers, okay, that I have that I have for my for my curriculum, right? Not only am I using Got Props, what's the other one that I'm using? Let me look through the curriculum real quick. Kick them out the classroom. Y'all know that game, Kick them out the classroom. And kick them out the classroom. Hey, what we doing in the classroom? Hey, I'm taking notes in the classroom. Hey, I'm saying jokes in the classroom. Hey, I'm with my folks in the classroom. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So now we go around the room and everybody like, right, like this is getting us engaged, it's getting us interactive, it's getting us, you know what I'm saying, on beat. Like we're like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're in the process of actually being engaged and interactive with each other. Y'all, oh my gosh, this like it started making so much sense to me the other day when I was just in here, just like writing the curriculum. Y'all, we gotta make sure that we're doing something that is fun, engaging, and interactive. And the thing is that you can actually look up these different games. How many of y'all have seen a whole bunch of different things on Instagram, right? Where they where like they play these different games on Instagram. They play these different games on Instagram and dang, oh shoot, how do I look at my saved stuff? Oh, saved over here, over here, over here, over here. All post. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I'm going to it. I'm going to it. I'm going to it. I'm going to it. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, bam. Here we go. 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 Let's X out of there. I'm gonna bring that back up in a second. Give me a second. Let's go over to Instagram. Bam. Look at this. Is this not an icebreaker you can do with kids?
Yeah.
Yep. And they will
Is
love it too.
is this not an icebreaker you can do with kids?
That's the type of stuff that make a kid want to come to class.
Will definitely make a kid want to be on time.
Listen, is this not an
Yeah.
icebreaker you can do with kids? And this stuff not even hard. This stuff like this stuff not even hard. Like, y'all, this the easy stuff. No, hold on, I don't want that one. No. Where's the game at? Here another one. Icebreakers you can do with kids. Bam, look at that. Tell me that's not an icebreaker that you can literally do with kids. Come on, y'all, let's go. You can't do this with kids? These are all amazing ideas for icebreakers that you can literally do with kids, right? And so there's another one where like they had to like blow up the balloon and then they had to use the air from the balloon to like push the cup like down the table. So they blow up the balloon, they use the air from the balloon to push the cup down the table, and whoever and then once that person gets their cup all the way down the table, the next person then goes. So now you've essentially created a team game where people can actually play and be on and actually be on teams. Y'all, these are all different things that we should be thinking about, that we should be doing. Like, don't overlook the stuff that you're going through on social media because you're like, nah, I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to use that. But you can literally take these DIY games, like you're going to start seeing them all over right now, all over, because families, they get together during the holiday season and then they play these different games during the holiday season. You've seen the one where they have the wine glass and they got to pull it back on the toilet paper.
I was
right?
just about to say that one. I saw
Yeah.
that recently. I said, "Oh, that looks fun."
Thank you, E. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. So all of these different games, you can actually use all of these different games as icebreakers, y'all. Y'all know the game, The Human Pretzel? Y'all know that one where everybody got to put their arm up and then they take the hand of they interlock fingers with the person to the right of them, and then they get somebody else's left hand, and now they've got 3 minutes to untangle themselves to get themselves out of this human pretzel. So like these are all different games that we can actually use to have fun so that we can start off with a really, really nice icebreaker. Okay, we can start off with a really, really nice icebreaker. All right, so we got our icebreaker. Okay, the next thing that we're going to need after we have our icebreaker is we're going to need some sort of information. All right, slash moral story. Okay, this right here is where you're going to insert essentially what it is that you're going to be talking about for the remainder of the day. So when I go through and I just heard of this story. Have y'all ever heard of the story of the elephant and the 6 blind men?
No.
Y'all never heard this story, man. This is amazing. And
No.
No, never heard of it. So 6 blind men were walking down a road in a small village in India. They were thirsty, so they decided to stop at a nearby river to quench their thirst. As they came near the river, they bumped into an elephant that was also drinking from the river. They were surprised and confused as to what they had bumped into. One of the blind men touched the elephant's trunk and told the others, "This is something soft." thick and long like a snake. The second man touched the elephant's tusk and said, no way. It's hard, long, smooth, and sharp like a spear. The third man touched the elephant's feet and said, you're both wrong. This object is hard, wide, and rough like the trunk of a tree. The fourth man touched the elephant's ear and said, actually, all three of you are wrong. The object is thin and flat like a rug. The fifth man touched the tail and said, it's definitely not all of that. The object is actually thin and delicate like a rope. The sixth man touched the body of the elephant and said, you must all be out of your minds. It's some kind of wall, hard and wide. Now they were even more confused. What could it be? They all wondered what could possibly be like a wall, a fan, a rope, a spear, a trunk, and a snake. They were unable to make sense of what they had come across, so they decided to ask a passerby. Excuse me, brother, could you please tell me what this object is right in front of us? It's an elephant, the passerby said. Everything made sense now. The moral of the story is that we see the truth through different lenses.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
So now let's talk about perception. Now let's talk about, hold on, wait. The reason why you see the world one way and I see the world another way is because of our perception of what we believe it to be. He touched the trunk, he touched the tusk, he touched the body, he touched the feet, he touched the ears, he touched the tail, and they all have different perspectives now. We all grew up in different perspectives based off of what we saw. I mean, think about it. We know the importance of environment and how environment shapes our beliefs. How what we see is what we believe is possible. I talked about the game before that we used to play when we was kid called That's My Car, when we used to see a real nice car drive by and we go, yo, no, that's my car right there. That's my car. And what we would do is we would say that's my car to these really, really amazing cars. And all of a sudden now our perception is changing of what we want for our lives. Any of y'all ever used to just drive around real nice neighborhoods and be like, damn, yo, I'm gonna get me one of them Jones one day. Damn, and now I need one just like that. I used to do that all the time when I was in Pennsylvania. I just used to find the nice houses out in Pennsylvania. I used to just drive around the nice houses in Pennsylvania and be like, yo, I'm going to get me one of them Jones. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get me one of them Jones, man. Anybody here watch HGTV?
Yes.
HGTV, man, I love watching HGTV. Some Property Brothers, some Love It or List It. You know what I'm saying? Love watching them. Bro, that's how you think I learned about recessed lighting, open concept, and backsplash. We don't got that in apartments. You'll be lucky to have a light in your goddamn living room. In an apartment, you got to get you a lamp. You got to get you a floor lamp, Slim.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why, like, my perception is different than a lot of people I hang with, because I grew up different than most people, because my parents were married and we had a big house in New York. So in New York, we had a house that had 4 stories to it. This and that. I was the only one in my classes, I remember, where both of my parents were still married and we lived in the house and not an apartment.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's perception. What we see is ultimately sometimes what we will believe is possible for us. And a lot of times when we don't get the things that we desire, a lot of times it's because we haven't even seen what it is. Y'all, some of us don't know what we don't know, so we don't get it. We don't even go for it. We don't even believe it's possible. Like, man, I didn't even know what that was. Like, before I started to get into cars, like I didn't even know what a Rolls Royce was. If that joint just drove by, I'd be like, dang, what's that? That's a different car that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And the reason being is because now it became something that became a part of my regular everyday life. If the things that we desire in this world don't become a part of our everyday lives, how are we ever going to envision them for ourselves? We got to make these things a part of our everyday lives. Yo, I watched Quavo. I watched Quavo on YouTube not on YouTube, on Instagram. He was blindfolded, and he was and they gave him like 5 different watches to touch, and he was able to tell what each one of these different watches was without even seeing them. He was just able to touch. Bro, I don't know. I don't know what an Audemars is. I don't even know how to say it. Is that an Audemars? I don't know what the name of these watches was. All right, that's not a part of my life right now. But he's literally going through these different watches. But the reason that they're able to do that is because now they've gotten to a level where this is something that is a part of my everyday life. We got to change what is a part of our everyday life and start seeing the things that we desire, not the situation that we're in. We got to start seeing the things that we desire, not the situation that we're in. So we have our as you're going through, right? We got our moral story. Our moral story is ultimately going to lead us into our information. All right. Moral story will lead you into your information, or you can just do information, but something here. If you're just going to do information, you're going to need to input your story. And this has to be an engaging story. You want it to be a funny story. You want it to be one that they can interact with. You want it to be one that you can actually teach from. So you've got your icebreaker. Okay. Then you have your information and or your moral story, or it's going to be your personal story. Let me see. Information. Let me do it this way. Or personal story. Okay. So now we got our icebreaker, we got our information plus moral story or personal story. Next thing that we're going to go into is we are going to go into our individual activity, group activity, or group discussion. Okay. So in your curriculum, you're going to need at least 2 of one of these to complete a day. All right. At least 2 of these to complete a day, because here's the way it's going to go. You're going to go icebreaker is going to be about 10 minutes. All right. Your moral story, this part over here, is going to be moral story, because at the end of your moral story, you're also going to have some discussion questions, right? You're also going to have some discussion questions that you're going to have on here. So this is probably going to end up being about, I would like for this to be about 20 minutes. All right. And then each one of these is going to actually, no, I lied. This is probably going to be about 15 minutes. And then this is going to be, so what are we at, 25? This is going to be 15. $15 minutes. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. All right, so you're going to choose 2 of these. So it's going to be an individual activity and a group activity, an individual activity and a group discussion, or it's going to be a group activity and a group discussion. It's going to be a combination of the 2. This is going to get you to 30 minutes, okay? So 30 minutes plus 15 plus 10, that's going to get you to a total of 55 minutes. Remember, your curriculum, it's only going to be for about an hour long, okay? And then at the end, you're going to have homework. You're going to have review plus homework. All right. And this is going to be 5 minutes. You're going to have review plus homework, and this is essentially going to be 5 minutes, because as you're teaching, you want to make sure that you're giving them something that they can go back to, or something that you want them to do. So as they prepare to come in for the next class, they know exactly what it is that they need to do coming in for the next class. All right. And then this right here is your whole hour. This is your, when you think about like, oh my gosh, I got to go up there and I got to speak for an hour, or I got to teach for an hour, it seems very long. But when you have a formula for what it is that you're doing, it makes what you're doing so much easier. So your icebreakers, 10 minutes, information, moral story, 15, individual activity, or group discussion, it's going to be 15 minutes. Homework or review is going to be 5 minutes. Let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into the individual activity. Now, here's the thing. So depending on how many weeks you're going to be working with the students, this is when you want to go, this is when you're going to figure out, okay, my individual activity, I'm going to have to cover 2 sub-competencies. Okay. So here you're going to mention your competency. And then here is where you're going to go into what your sub-competencies ultimately are. Okay. By way of an individual activity, a group activity, or a group discussion. So you want to have the students learning from doing something. Okay. You want to have them learning from doing something. One of the activities that I do in terms of communication, I'm going to show y'all real quick, is a couple of different things. You can have people, you can create an obstacle course, okay? Create an obstacle course, lay a whole bunch of different objects down, and all they're going to do is they're going to communicate to the other person how to walk through this obstacle course without tripping or stepping on anything. Right? Communication. How good is your communication? Can you communicate? Because take a step forward. A step forward to me and you looks very different, don't it?
Yep.
You ever walk with somebody tall and be like, damn, why are you walking so fast? I'm not walking fast. My stride's just long. I'm not trying to walk fast. These are just my strides right here. That's all it is. And so in that, we're teaching effective communication skills. Another one that I do with effective communication. Dang it, here they are. Another one that I do with effective communication. I give them these, and as you all can see, I created these myself. But on here, when I download it, it looks the right way. I don't know why it does that, like on in the Google Drive, like it stops looking the right way for some reason. Hold on, let me share this screen with y'all. All right. So now what I do is I cut these in half. I cut them in half. I split everybody up. I say everybody on this side, partner up with somebody on this side. And then I'm going to give the left side these drawings. I'm going to give the right side these drawings. And then what I want you to do is you can't tell them what it is. All you can tell them is the shape and the placement of that shape. And they have to draw what it is that you told them. So you got to say, draw a triangle. Well, how big is the triangle? Where do I put the triangle at? Draw a square. Well, draw a square underneath the triangle. Make sure they're touching. Okay, got it. On the left side at the top of that square, draw another square. You can't say window. Draw another square. Draw a line in the middle of that square going down. Draw a line in the middle of that square going left to right. That same square, I need you to draw that same square that you drew on the left. Do it on the right side. Do the same exact thing. Now, below that square, I need you to draw a rectangle, making sure that the rectangle touches the bottom of the square. Don't draw it up too high. Make sure that there's space between the square that you drew at the top with the cross in it and that rectangle at the bottom. Now, on the left side, right in the middle, I need you to draw a real tiny circle. Okay, great. At the top left, I need you to draw a nice circle that's kind of like floating out there. Now, all around this, I need you to draw lines and make them evenly spaced, but the lines need to go outside they need to be going outside of the circle, almost like a clock. So if you could actually draw 12 lines, so you know how the lines on the clock are inside, I need you to draw those same 12 lines outside.
That just seems confusing.
Listen, it's effective communication. When you get down here to the robot and the tree, do you know what shape this is? I think that's called a rhombus. But these are games that, like, listen, these are games that you can play with your kids. These are games that you can play with your kids. This mouse, draw 2 circles on the right side, right? Draw a triangle intersecting the 2 circles. Again, it's all effective communication. So this is one of my favorite exercises to teach effective communication. Another one of my favorite exercises to teach effective communication is the bomb game. Keep talking and nobody explodes. I think Mika, you was on with me on TikTok when I was playing that the one day.
Yep, I downloaded it too. Me and TV playing it now and then. I try to play by myself. It don't work that well.
Yeah, you can play that game. Y'all, how many of y'all ever play headbands where you got to tell the person what it is without saying, "Oh, Cry Me a River," Justin Timberlake. Oh yeah, there you go. It's Justin Timberlake.
That's a fun game. I like that game.
Yeah, y'all, these are all activities that you can use to teach effective communication. All activities that we can use to teach effective communication. So this is so that would be considered a group activity. Then I go into discussion questions. What was difficult about the activity? How could you have done better in the activity? What were some of the things that you expect? Like, was the activity more difficult than you expected, and why? So now we can, from a group activity, it goes into a mini group discussion. But now let's say if we want to have like a big group discussion with the students. Okay, so now if you want to have a big group discussion with the students, now you start going into difficult, challenging questions, right? You go into those questions of, I don't know. I mean, they love relationship questions, right? I tell them all the time. I say this. I say, if you were on a podcast and you were having a conversation about relationships, what would you say the most difficult part about a relationship would be? Oh, Mr. Backpack, man, you ain't gonna believe these women. Oh, Mr. Backpack, these men, they don't blah 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 blah. How about we start taking some accountability, maybe just a little pinch of accountability with ourselves instead of looking, you know what I'm saying, for what everybody else isn't doing. You know what I'm saying? Granted, they could not be doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we also need to make sure that we are taking accountability. So let's go into the actual curriculum, right? So in your curriculum, I need you to write this down. You need to make sure that you have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. Okay? A pre-assessment and a post-assessment. So this is my pre-assessment right here. Bam, rarely, sometimes, often. Rarely, sometimes, often. My hope is that after we're done, each one of these, I'll give it to them again, and it will be often. You also want to make sure that you have an evaluation form. You want to make sure that you have an evaluation form. The evaluation form is going to tell you if it was good or not. And we need regular feedback. Now, if you don't want to do the hard copy, you can do a Google form. And you can do it in the Google form. And the Google form will literally track all of the data in regards to the evaluation of your presentation or your workshop. It's literally that easy. Got to make sure we have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. If you want to, you can have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment after each day, or you can have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment after each large topic. So if it's social emotional learning, before you teach it, and then after you're done with all of your competencies and sub-competencies, now you want to ask them again, how confident do they feel about it, right? All right. So as you guys can see here, I'm creating my instructor guide, right? So week 2, icebreaker mission statement. We as a group, we're creating a mission statement. As a group, we are creating a mission statement because this group that I'm doing, the winner's circle, where winners write history and losers become a part of the story. We need an actual mission statement that we can say every time we come into this circle. We need to make sure that we have a mission statement. Same way we did it for our families. Y'all, all of the stuff that you do with your family, for your kids, you can literally take all of those different things and you can turn them and you can add them to your curriculum. Add them to your curriculum. It only makes sense. So I got my box right here. Good. Then I go down into here's my information. Here's my moral story. Moral of the story. Why is this not? What is happening here? Somebody tell me what their hex color code is.
One of mine is 00001. The 000, yeah, 001. I remember one of them.
You see that? Listen, that's why this is important, because if I need to change the color of something, I got the code right there. I know the code 678B9D. I know mine. They ain't gonna be able to get me. All right. So, moral of the story. After each moral of the story, I got discussion questions. What are your thoughts on the central most important part of the lesson? How did you interpret it? Can you think of a real life situation where the moral of the story might apply? How would you apply this lesson in your own life? Were any characters in the story whose actions or decisions you found particularly relatable or thought-provoking? Why did you connect with them? Do you think the story's message was universally applicable, or are there situations where the moral might not be as relevant or clear? Do you think the characters in the story could have handled the situation differently to achieve a better outcome? What would you have done in their place? And you can you ask these questions out loud so that you can talk about them together, right? You don't want to spend too much time having them write down more stuff. You want to just go ahead into it and just have them say these, y'all can say these out loud, out loud together, right? Then we go into the individual activity. Okay. So now for this one, I only have one activity because this self-awareness worksheet is relatively long, and we're going to go through this together. And basically we go through there, and I got to finish create a family mission statement. So I'm basically going to, for my homework, I'm going to take this same steps of this mission statement, because remember, this is going to be a printable, and I want them to create a family mission statement. And then I want them to come back the next day with that family mission statement written out. Now we go into week number 3. It's about self-awareness. It is continue. Icebreaker is got props. I'm teaching how to play the game. Right here are my directions on how to play the game. Granted, I know how to play the game, but if I'm going to sell this curriculum at any point in time, I want to make sure that the people who are reviewing it, they know exactly how to play the game. All right. Now I go into my group. Discussion. Right. I need to change this. This is supposed to be moral story. Right. Bam. Going into my moral story. There's my elephant right there. All right. Cool. There it is. Moral of the story. Discussion questions again. Activity. Draw a tree. Tree drawing. So based off of the tree drawing, they're going to interpret that. So again, this is a relatively long activity. So we'll just do that activity. Homework. I still need to add some homework to that one. Again, icebreaker, moral story. Right. So y'all, as we're going through, like, we want to make sure that we're filling up our curriculum with things that are going to be engaging, that are going to be interactive, that are going to get the students out of their seat, that are going to get them thinking. All of those different things, right? So there's many ways that we can actually do this, and it's going to take a lot of research. Like, I've literally went into I'm actually going to show y'all like what my like this is essentially like, so when I'm in my Google Drive, I go to curriculums, conflict resolution, creative writing, DE&I, financial literacy, leadership, leadership and management, social emotional learning. Here are my 5 competencies here. Like I said, self-awareness. Here are activities about self-awareness. If I go into self-management, here are activities about self-management, stuff about self-management. If I go into relationship skills, here's stuff about relationship skills, right? So I've got a whole book here about relationship skills, 52 pages of literally activities about relationship skills. I could turn this into a whole 18-week curriculum. I could turn this into a whole 18-week curriculum, y'all. If y'all want any of this stuff, this is all y'all's too. Like, this isn't my stuff. I just went online and I found it.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Conflict resolution. I go into problem solving and critical thinking, right? Critical thinking workbook. Whole 32 pages of critical thinking workbook. Right? Rumbus Roundup. Connect the 9 dots using only 4 lines. Like, look, like this is a whole curriculum right here. It's a whole curriculum right here. Murder mystery. Any of y'all ever did a murder mystery with a group?
Oh, yes, we used to do that in high school so much.
Man, you got to figure out who killed her. That's not critical thinking and problem solving.
Mm.
Team, you know what I'm saying? Team playing. Like that, y'all, this is it. Responsible decision making. This is it. So the curriculums that we're writing, they don't have to be very difficult. They don't have to be very difficult. It's not very difficult to write these curriculums, y'all. We can do this. All right. Any questions? Was this helpful?
Yes.
Yes.
Very so.
Yes, some clarity in regards to what these curriculums are going to look like. So again, as we're writing these curriculums, right? Don't forget icebreaker, information plus moral story or personal story. All right, individual activity, or group discussion, and then review everything that you went over for the day, and then homework. Okay, give them some homework because they want to. I'm telling y'all because I've been in the meetings. I'm only saying this because I've been in the meetings for no other reason other than I've been in the meetings. They want them to have homework of some sort. Doesn't have to be super hard homework, just homework. Like I remember one of the homework assignments that I had when I was in college that I would have students do. I want you to go into an area, just go into a public place. And I just want you to people watch and I want you to write down everything that you see. I want you to write down everything that you see. Y'all, when I did that, I chose to go to Walmart. Man, I saw it all. Go into Walmart, sit down at the McDonald's or the Subway that they have in Walmart and just write down everything that you see. Jesus. Jeez. Awareness, social cues, research. Like there's different methods that you like that same activity could be teaching a couple of different things. Could be teaching a couple of different things, y'all. So, all right. So yes. So this is my formula for the curriculum. Right. This is my formula for the curriculum. This is pretty much what the curriculum looks like to me. So when you are when y'all are thinking about writing that curriculum and stuff like that, keep those things in mind. And all of these different games that you're going to see on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok, them family games, man, save them joints and add them to your curriculum as an icebreaker activity. Save them and add them to your curriculum as an icebreaker activity, and then thank me later.
Yeah.
Thank me later. All right. Any questions before I let y'all go for the night? I appreciate y'all.
Whatever you're willing to share, I'll take it.
I'm gonna share all of it. It's why we here. That's why we here, y'all.
I was trying to make my own workbook out of scratch. It's terrible.
I got you. That's why we here. I'm gonna share it all with you. Don't even worry about it.
Thank
Don't
you.
even worry about it. I got y'all. I'm gonna put it in y'all drives. I got y'all drives, so I'm gonna throw them in there for y'all. All right.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely. All right. Y'all know the motto: winners write history, losers become a part of the story. I will see y'all on Tuesday. Let's get active.
Yes, sir.